Hi folks, this is just a very short Sunday vlog to give you an update following my video, I don't know, a couple of months ago on me picking up a Lyme infection. And firstly, I'd just like to thank everyone. You had so many messages asking how I was and to get well soon and get back in the hills and what have you. And I really appreciate them. It was a big help when I was feeling a bit sorry for myself when Jerry and the boys were out in the Alps and I was I was suffering back here, feeling rather poorly. So as I said, I really just want to use this video to kind of go through what the treatment was and how I've kind of progressed through that treatment, just so you have an idea of what happened. And I've been kind of calling it, as opposed to calling it Lyme's disease, I'm now calling it a Lyme infection because I'm hoping that I've caught it early enough and this will be the end of it. I've basically been on antibiotics for the last sort of 3 weeks. Well, actually I finished these about a week ago and they have really helped. If you want to know about how I found out I had Lyme's disease, then just watch the last video. I'll put a link to it here. I'm not going to go through that again. I went through all the symptoms I had, which I think were maybe not symptoms you would directly associate with Lyme's disease. One of the symptoms that I didn't mention, and I got literally the first day I started taking the antibiotics, was I woke up in the morning and had a drink of water and I couldn't feel the side of my face. It felt like I'd been to the dentist. You know, when you get the injection into your gums, you can't feel it. So one side of my face was just paralysed. I think they call it facial palsy. Anyway, that kind of left. That was only with me for about half a day. So I've been away, I've been off the hills for about 2.5 months, and the first, I was feeling pretty poorly. As I said, I'm not going to go into that because I went through all the symptoms in the last video. I went to the doctors and I was given antibiotics to take, and this was the antibiotics, something called doxycycline, and I was told to take 2 of these tablets at 100 mg capsules, and I was told to take 2 of those a day, which I did. For 3 weeks, and I must admit, after about 4 or 5 days having started the antibiotics, the pain that I was feeling, the muscular pain and certainly the nerve pain I was getting, disappeared. It was pretty quick in stopping that, which was great. So I came off my painkillers. I've been given some amitriptyline to take and brufen, so it worked pretty quickly. But I can't emphasize enough, when you get antibiotics, irrespective of whether you start to feel better, you've got to continue the course of antibiotics, because I think there's 2 reasons for that. One, it might not kill off the bacterial infection completely, and 2, bacterial resistance can build up, which is a big issue, as you're probably aware. So the pain went after 4 or 5 days, but I must admit, for the following 2 weeks I was knackered, absolutely knackered. I was getting home from work. I was still able to go to my work, but that was about all. I was getting home and lying down on the couch, putting the telly on, and literally my wife was waking me up about 9 o'clock. You know, I'd just fallen asleep. I was that tired, and that lasted for about 2 weeks. And then towards the end of the course of the antibiotics, I started to feel better, and a lot better. And I reckon it's been a week since I've come off them. I still feel slightly tired, but I think I'm almost back to normal now, which is great. And I am keeping an eye on any symptoms that might reoccur. I did have a sore back, and I had a telephone appointment with the GP yesterday just to put my mind at ease that it wasn't a recurrence of the Lyme's disease. So I just need to keep an eye on that. But I'm really hoping, touch wood, that I've caught it early enough, and that's the end of it. So that was just a quick video to tell you what the treatment was like. I think it's important that people know. I still think there's a lot of questions. People don't really know about Lyme's disease. There's so many misconceptions, and I'll put some links. There's some good links or websites that go through Lyme disease and have all the details that you need for it if you suspect anything. But as I said in the last video, if I can maybe suggest one thing, is if you're out even walking the dog in any sort of long grass or wooded area or up in the hills, do try and take some precautions. I've talked about them in the last video, and if you see a tick, take it out correctly and as soon as possible. And if you see any rashes or feel any symptoms, get to the doctor. and get on a course of antibiotics. It's not something you want to really play about with or mess about with. Anyway, hopefully I'll be back in the hills soon. I've actually planned a trip with Jerry tomorrow. It'll be my first trip back, so you'll probably see that on Wednesday evening's vlog, and hopefully I make it to the top. Right, thanks for watching, and again, thanks for all the messages, the get well messages and what have you. I'm hopefully back to normal now.